So, first podcast, we're going to call my wife and see if I'm allowed to smoke a cigar for the first.
In his office upstairs. Opposed to me, I'm actually outside my house. So this is going to be very entertaining.
Like, I don't know if you can tell, my armpits are sweating. I'm scared to death of her. Put on speaker.
Maybe she would answer.
That's an automatic yes. Should we go with automatic yes if she doesn't answer?
That's on you, brother.
Please leave your message for...
It's an automatic yes. I'm going to text her. I'm going to say, call me. Call me back. She's home. I just don't know what she's doing.
Yeah. She's probably like, oh, he said he's doing his podcast. He didn't want to, like, I didn't need to answer him. So,
yeah, true.
I don't know why he's calling me now.
Well, so, for whatever, before we started this, you know, John and I were talking about what we're doing, what we're talking about, whatever, which came out to nothing. And as we're going through it, my wife is answering all the questions. After I told her I'm coming up to the office to do a podcast.
My cousin is special. So.
She is, yeah. V-cut. All right, so which one is this?
So tonight we are smoking the Drew Estate Nica Rustica Adobe. It's Drew Estate's newest cigar from their Nica Rustica line.
It's good. Do you ever do the cold draw thing?
Yeah, I do every once in a while. You get kind of different notes. It's funny. My wife Mandy actually came out here because across the street there was a fire truck, and I don't want to say this is the reason why the person across the street called the fire truck, but his fire alarms are going off, and I don't think he knew how to turn them off.
Wow.
And he's a young guy, probably early 30s or so.
Mm-hmm.
I've met him twice, during the hurricane, because he asked me if he could borrow a drill to put up his hurricane shutters. And immediately I'm like, who doesn't have a drill? But besides the point, the only reason why I think that he might have called them for because he didn't know how to turn off his fire alarms is because the fire people came and they pulled off a regular ladder off the top of their truck, and now the fire alarms are off. So
yeah, bless his heart. Is he 90 though? I don't want to make fun of somebody that's 90 years old.
No, he's early 30s. He has a brand new baby. Yeah, so
he's special.
It is what it is.
He's not smoking cigars, I can tell you that much.
What are you drinking tonight?
So, Woodford, double oaked, banana,
cool,
pancakes in a bottle. Yeah, it's good.
I am drinking a Coke and I've got as my backup a Mango Loco Monster energy drink.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be I really thought you were gonna say a mango cart.
No.
Have you had a mango
I should
cart?
grab a mango cart.
Yeah,
I have. I like mango cart better on tap than I do out of the can.
Yeah. When we're down
because I've had it. Yeah, I've had it a couple of times. Like when I first had Mango Cart, it was on tap, and I prefer it better that way.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, even out of the can, it's not terrible. But it's kind of
Yeah.
like those, to me, those kind of beers, are kind of like the German one at Epcot, Hefeweizen,
Yeah.
where, um, it's so much better on tap, but even out of a can, it's not terrible. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
like
super
the
terrible.
Schopenhofer, it's not terrible out of the can because I got all the slim cans.
Yeah,
But I feel like it's got a lot more carbonation,
yeah,
like in the can, and so like you really have to pour it to get some of that aeration out.
yeah. But in a bottle, have
Or
you
like
had it
your
in a bottle?
the
Schopenhofer.
Schopenhofer. Uh.
It's terrible. It's not. It's not even close to being the same.
Yeah.
It's really bad. You doing Oktoberfest this year anywhere?
Nope.
I am.
I live a boring life in Waimama. Trust me. I don't really go out much. I didn't even make it to the cigar bar today.
No.
Like I said I was going to. No.
Yeah, that's one of the
I
reasons I'm late
actually
coming home.
I did I fertilized the lawn. I put that bed liner paint stuff on my bed liner.
Oh yeah, how'd that turn out?
Pretty good actually. It's actually pretty decent. And then just did a whole bunch of other stuff. Drained my AC line and a whole bunch of adult things. Made sure my truck and car coolant were okay. So
Yeah, I gotta check my coolant and go get gas.
yeah.
I really don't.
So for our audience, we should probably introduce ourselves. I know we're like 6 minutes into the podcast already.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
should probably introduce ourselves and what we're all about or whatnot.
Yeah. So you go first. You're the star.
As I'm putting
Not
the
it.
cigar in my mouth,
Not it.
I go. Well, you've reached the Cigar Advisors podcast. We're two friends that love cigars very much. Matt also loves tons of whiskey, bourbon, as apparent by his wall behind him. But two longtime friends. We've known each other for a very long time. And we decided to launch a website that helps people explore cigar bars and cigar lounges in their area called thecigaradvisor.com. And this is our podcast that's complementary to that. And it's basically just us shooting the shit and talking about our cigars and talking about our whiskeys or drinks of choice and basically whatever else we can think of. So my name is John. I've been smoking cigars for many years now, on and off. I do like whiskey and bourbon, but that's more of Matt's realm. I'll let you introduce yourself while I light this up.
Yeah, but what's the stuff that you do like? Goji or something like that? Some kind of rice Asian thing.
So I do like sake,
Yeah.
and I do like soju, which is Korean. So Japanese and Korean alcohols.
Very
I
sweet
enjoy.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am Matthew. Saying it feels like it's like first day of school. That's weird. I've been smoking cigars quite a while. I got into them actually cruising down into the islands, and I bought some fake Cubans, which were terrible. But that was like the introduction, right? And then started getting into just some different ones and learning about the flavors. And as anyone who knows me will tell you that once I get wind or get the scent of something, I dive in all the way. I just
100%.
yeah, like Precious is always like, collecting is supposed to happen over time. Nah, that's for noobs. Like I have to go at it full steam. I find everything I possibly can, build shelves, anything I can possibly do just like I just obsess over it. So
Yeah.
I got introduced to cigars, and then and it kind of faded off for a little bit, and then John here, who we can always thank for most of my obsessions, reintroduced it, and we went to Cigar International in Tampa,
Yep.
and yeah, it's been full steam since then. So run out of space in humidors, so had to get a full size humidor, and then some little ones that are back there.
And for the record, like to showcase Matt's obsessive immediate behavior, he has a thermo. I've been smoking cigars a lot longer than Matt, and he has a Thermore electric humidor, and I'm using like Tupper doors and stuff to store my stuff. So I mean, Matt never does anything small.
Yeah, in our friend group, John created a famous saying of "Go big or go home," and that's mentioned several times on any time that we get together. And 100% that's exactly how I live life is go big or go home.
Yep. I created the saying, but you definitely live the
Yeah,
saying.
cheers to the saying.
Cheers to the saying.
So we were just talking about a different cigar that I thought was new, but apparently is not. Um, and I apparently exit out of it. But it was the new some. It's like in pink, right?
Yeah, the Arto Fuente Rare Pink. So it was a special edition cigar that Arto Fuente released a couple years back, and it topped the charts. Everyone loved it. I forget exactly which Vitolas it released, but they're releasing it again, except in I think I want to say 2 or maybe more Vitolas. So I'm excited to try it if I could find it. I know it when they release, they're very hard to find, which is usually the trend with Arto Fuente cigars. Um, so we'll see.
So I'm targeting. It's called Happy Ending.
What?
That's the name of the one. Um, it's Rare Pink Vintage 1960 series Arturo Fuente, and the one that I want to get out of that line, out of this like Rare Pink signature line, is called Happy Ending. It's a 5.5, 53 ring gauge, and there are 10 per box. The signatures are 6 inches with a 46 ring gauge, and those come 25 a box.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I really want the Happy Endings. I mean, even though it's only 10, but I mean, I only want it because it's named Happy Ending. I know nothing else about it.
That's all you need to know.
So I need to
I
know Happy
guess.
Ending.
So you're excited for that cigar?
Yeah, I'm always excited to get a Happy Ending.
The cigar that I'm excited about, and I'm not kind of a Drew Estate fanboy. I'm like a Drew Estate Room 101 fanboy or whatever. I really enjoy both companies' cigar lineups, but Drew Estate did a partnership with Metallica,
Yeah.
specifically the lead singer, and the whiskey that the lead singer has, which is called, I think, Blackened.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing a cigar line called M81, and it's a dark cigar, and let me see if I can pull up exactly the specs on it. It's going to come in your Robusto, your Toro, your Corona Double, your Corona. It's supposed to come out. Actually, it should be already out. So I need to go to the cigar lounge and see if they have any. But it's supposed to be a Maduro, and You know how much I love Maduros.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's and it's funny because most of the time I'm pretty partial to a Maduro. Um,
yeah.
I and I know they're supposed to be stronger, but I gotta say I don't always get that they're stronger. You know, like as far as the smoke or the flavors go, not every single time,
Yeah.
but for the most part.
I mean, I think a lot of people have the misnomer that like dark cigars tend to be stronger,
Mhm.
and yes, in a sense, um, but like I think there are qualities about like lighter cigars that people also don't like because lighter cigars I think tend to bring out more that pepper note that people don't like.
Right.
Some people don't like. But I find that like darker cigars like Maduros and stuff like that don't necessarily have that big punchy peppery end, but like it's a consistent, smooth um, flavor throughout. So
Yeah. Yeah, I like them all. I don't hate on any of them. Now, you had a chance to smoke that the one that we imported from the Philippines?
oh yeah, the Flora de Filipinas.
Yes. I liked it. And
Yeah,
that's lighter, but I liked it.
yeah. It's definitely a lighter cigar. I forget exactly what the binders and fillers and stuff are like specifically, but I like this cigar. It was is a smaller ring gauge that I'm
Mhm.
normally accustomed to. I usually stick around the Toro, the Gordo range.
Yeah,
Um, but I think it was a I forgot what type of Vitola was it.
beats me. It was
But
good
yeah,
though.
it was a thinner cigar, thinner but longer cigar.
Yeah.
Um,
Like a
it did have some elements of like grass and hay or whatever. It's definitely like um, oh, here we go, folks.
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah.
So, I didn't plan this out very well. We're doing a cigar podcast, but I didn't plan to go outside. I didn't think about it.
Okay.
So, smoking a cigar upstairs with the window open.
Or the only one time.
One time.
And she hung up. One time, hang up. You have a do you have a humidifier up there
Uh,
or a purifier, air
yeah, I have an air
purifier?
purifier. Air purifier, a dehumidifier. Because here in Florida, it's so humid. You know, like up north, people.
Yeah, that's why I can't smoke cigars during the summer.
Yeah,
Like
it's hot.
it's too hot, humid, and muggy, and like that's why I'm finally glad like we're getting some cooler evenings. Typically it's still like mid to mid 80s, but at least like the overnight lows are like dropping into like the 60 range.
Yeah, true.
So
How do you like it? This is my first time having this.
I like it. It's a smooth draw. Um, Light pepper. It's not like astringent on the tongue.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So far, the first third is it's really nice. It's holding a very nice burn. It's not uneven. It's holding its ash. So,
Yeah, the pepper is definitely in this.
um, one thing I could say about Drew Estate and Room 101, their construction on their cigars is top notch. They're always straight.
Yeah, Yeah, it's pretty decent. And it actually goes really well with this because this is so sweet.
Mm.
I don't think I sent you this one as a taste.
That's okay. That's more readily available than
Oh yeah,
most whiskeys. So
yeah. The so sneak peek of future episodes. I definitely want to do an episode with the pairing of the Filipino cigar with the Filipino rum that I found. I think that's going to be pretty cool because like in Cuba, cigars were being paired with rum. It wasn't being paired with whiskey. So
yeah,
I think that'll be pretty cool to do. Kind of fun, different. I don't think I don't think I've seen a single like YouTuber or podcaster or even an article that does that. Um, that's kind of looked at that country of origin for a cigar or an alcohol. So it'd be pretty cool. And since my wife is Filipino and obviously her cousin is Filipino, it'll be cool to
what?
do.
I'm Filipino. No.
Shocking. Shocking. Yeah. Um so Cigar Advisor is mostly about finding the right cigar lounge like for you. For me, for John. Um that's the purpose why we created it. Cuz sometimes you can go to a
Yeah.
cigar lounge and you're going there expecting something. Maybe something that like my first lounge was Cigar International. My first real cigar lounge was Cigar International. So then that set the bar obviously pretty high because they're so big. They have tons of cigars, and that just really set the bar so high. They serve alcohol, they serve beer, they serve wine, they serve coffee, cappuccinos, anything you want. Um, Other than food, because here in Florida we have a stupid law that you can't serve food in a cigar lounge or less than 10%, I think is what it is. Um, so then I went to a cigar lounge kind of local and expecting to see the same thing. And when I got there with another friend, um, they did not serve any alcohol at all. Their humidor was like the size of of a of a small bedroom closet. And they had some different things. I mean, they had like lighters and some boxes and some like humidor boxes. And they served Coke and Diet Coke and root beer just in cans. But it was a small place. It had four chairs and it just the problem was we went there with a certain idea of what it was going to be like. Now I've actually gone back there and I've enjoyed it because it is so small. Because you can sit and it's quiet. Nobody's like rushing you. No one's like trying to tell you what cigars you're supposed to be smoking. Um, None of that. It's actually pretty cool. But not knowing that. So with Cigar Advisor, we have an app if you have an Android. iPhone won't let you have it because they're stupid and they're Nazis. Take that, Apple. And but you open up the app or you can open up the website from any device anywhere. It's a great site and it was designed by us. Like we did all the work. We did not hire any of this out. We did all of it ourselves from the ground up, researching how to do it. We're not web designers. We're actually both in healthcare. So the whole point of that is we created something ground up to help everybody that is at no cost to any consumer at all. And we're so open about it that you can actually even go on there and click like add listing and see how much cigar shops pay to have their site listed, and it's very, very minimal. When you look at how much people typically spend in advertising, it's very, 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 very minimal, a couple $100, and that's all it takes to get onto our site, which I think is pretty cool because you know, we we have our day-to-day lives and our day-to-day jobs. We're just looking to do something good and cool and fun and different, and not be limited by who tells us what to say and where we can advertise. If you are a cigar shop, you can advertise. If you're a cigar enthusiast, you can write your review. We don't hold anything back. The one thing that we do look at is anyone that's just being derogatory or stupid. I mean, just plain out, just saying stupid things that don't need to be said. But if you have a solid review, I went to this place, it wasn't clean. You know, they didn't have a very good selection of what I liked. Solid review. I think most of us though would probably write something fairly positive, which is going to be great selection. I got they had a great selection of cohibas there. Loved them. Service was great. The whiskeys were great. Whatever the case was. So that's what Cigar Advisor is about on that side of it. And then we do some blogging, which that's fun. I think I've written a couple. You've written a few.
Yeah, a couple of
Um,
cigar reviews and stuff like that. You know, we smoke so many cigars over the course of the year.
mhm,
If there's something that stands out or something that doesn't stand out, we want everyone to know. Be like, hey, you should try this out. And like we understand everyone palate is different, so we're going to give you our honest opinion, our sole opinion on specific cigars. So you might come across a cigar that you absolutely love and I absolutely
mm,
didn't like, but that's the nature of the community. Like, it's not necessarily to bash anyone for their selection, but like we all have very different palates. When I first started smoking cigars, it was mostly light. So now I'm more of that medium to bold stage of my cigar smoking life. So, but it's here all to educate and have information out for everybody. Especially about the cigar lounges. Um, you know, Maybe you are looking for that small shop like that's just around the corner from your house, and you want to, you never stepped inside because you didn't know what it was going to be like. Or if you're wanting to find somewhere like big and spectacular, like Cigars International or the um, Grand Cathedral Cigars in Tampa. Um, I'm hoping that this outlet, and you can go on other sites like Google and whatever, and you can do your research that way. That's how me and Matt used to
mhm,
find cigar bars in the past and cigar lounges in the past. But um, sometimes there wasn't like there were some reviews, but like not a lot. So this is specifically built for cigar enthusiasts to share information with one another. Um, because we are a collective community. Cigar culture is one of those few cultures where, like, you can go into a room and you got someone working in healthcare, you got someone that's, your blue collar worker, from you got a school teacher, retirees, or whatever, and you can sit down, enjoy a cigar, and then just shoot the shit.
mm.
So,
I think like thinking back, like first I want to talk about first time entering a cigar lounge, like what it's like, because there are a lot of people that have not gone into one before, and it is like it's intimidating. Like if you walk into a Cigar International, that's intimidating. And then the second part
yeah,
that I want to talk about is that time when you and I were at Cigar International, actually, of all places, and we were sitting there. We are actually getting ready to leave, and that couple walked up to us where the wife was a nurse, and I think the guy like ran grocery stores,
yeah, he was a retired grocery store manager or something like
but
that.
they were the coolest
Um,
people.
Yeah, they were living out of an RV over in Riverview or something like
Yeah,
that at a campground. Um, I think the wife flew back to California
yeah.
to do like, I don't know, like 4 weeks work and then come back,
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
like literally you can meet anybody.
it was really
Um,
cool. But
so I mean, you talked about your first cigar lounge experience.
Mhm.
So mine I think was in St. Augustine. There's a place there called Stogie's. It was a very small. I would call it a cigar shop, not a lounge. Um, they had a couple of like metal tables on the outside of their establishment where you can like smoke whatever you got. But for the most part, they had like a small, I would say like 4 or 5 feet by 7 feet humidor, walk-in humidor. Um, Carried your typical popular brands like Ashton, Cohiba, Arto Fuente, stuff like that. But my first experience, like most cigar lounges I go to now, the personnel is very helpful. But this place kind of like just some guy working at the counter, you know, and he'll just ring you up or whatever. He's not really giving you suggestions. So, I picked a couple of things. I wasn't really ever educated to, um, hey, you got to keep this humidified. You got to
Mhm.
keep it at the optimal temperature or whatever. Fortunately, one of the cigars that I bought was a tubo. So, a tubo is a cigar that's in a metal tube and it'll keep your cigar humidified until you're ready to smoke it. Um, so, that one was fine, but like I had gotten another cigar that was not in a tubo, and I don't want to say it was a bad cigar smoking experience because I didn't smoke it immediately then. I smoked it like, I don't know, maybe like a month after,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like the best. And so that was my first cigar smoking experience. And then, from there, I visit different lounges and have different experiences. Um, you know, what I would say is if you want to get into this hobby and you are looking for information, there's tons of it to find like on the internet. Um, and but like your tobacconist, which is the person that works in the shop, should be your first point of reference. They should be able to like kind of educate you and like see what you like and pair something that you know you want to smoke. So
Yeah, I think that was the part for me, and still even till this day, that is sometimes awkward because like you're going into this place with this, where these guys and they're the tobacconists are usually smoking cigars, and you can tell they know obviously what they're doing, and the people in there always look like they know what they're doing. And then I walk in and you know I got a little bit of a twang, and I speak no other languages whatsoever. Um, so a lot of these cigars are named after or within the language of Spanish. So I go in there and it's like, hey, can what's a toro, you know? And I sound like a complete hillbilly, and it can be really intimidating. The thing I have found out after talking to these guys behind the counter, and now after going, several times to these places, is it's completely not uncommon for someone like me that knows close to nothing or has, likes cigars, smokes cigars, but doesn't really know a whole lot about it or the lingo that's behind it because it's been just me solo quite a bit, or just with like John and what he's kind of taught me. Um, so it's don't be afraid to go to the counter and tell them what you're looking for or ask for what you should look for. Definitely don't be afraid. And in Cigar Advisor, leave that review. Talk about those places that are friendly. Go in
Yeah,
there.
call out those tobacconists that,
Yes.
hey, I went in here and Keith helped me out a lot. If you're looking for a good cigar, go, find this guy and he'll help you out.
Yeah, those friendly people are out there, and they're so cool to like form a relationship with. And I do that everywhere I go. I mean, like I really like to do that kind of communal uh, camaraderie with people. I mean, like my liquor store. I have a local liquor store. They're a larger store, but they call me when they get something good in. Up there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bottle of E.H. Taylor. It's hard to get,
Oh yeah,
extremely hard to get, but they got a few in, and they called me and said, "Hey, we got it." And it was just doing that. It's just going up and saying, "Hey, I have no idea what I'm looking for. What are the bourbons people like? And what is it that I should like? What should I look for? This is the flavors I like. This is what I've liked so far." Or if you're brand new and you've never smoked a cigar, say that. Walk in. "Hey, I have never smoked anything before. What should I try?"
yeah. And usually what'll happen is they'll probably ask you honestly, if like you've never smoked a cigar before, what is your drink of choice? Because typically, if you're smoking a cigar, you're gonna sit down and have a drink, especially if you're first timer, because your mouth might tend to get dry or whatever. And if you have a specific beverage preference, that tobacconist will be able to lead you to the right pairing for whatever you like to drink. So
Yeah, because I mean, I know you drink coffees and root beers and stuff like that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, typically my favorite thing to pair with a cigar is a soda. So it's gonna be uh, a Coke or a Pepsi or a Dr Pepper or a root beer,
Yeah.
just because they have those caramel notes. Um, that is that pairs well with any type of cigar, but mostly like the type of cigars that I like to smoke.
Yeah.
If it's not a soda, then it probably is a coffee or a coffee con leche or something like that.
Mhm.
So I typically like to pair sweet things with my cigars.
Yeah, my typical is definitely bourbons. But I mean, I also like bourbon just to have. Um, but also we do actually smoke, I think, a lot of the same cigars, and some of our taste palettes are kind of the same, or at least we like a lot of the same things. But with bourbon, you get that like sugar caramel, which comes from the toast, like they'll burn or toast the barrels. So when they char that barrel, you get that sugar from the oak and from the corn, and now with getting into just all these different kind of mash bills, but it's good. Like that's what I like. Um, but again, no, like because we like something within the same realm, it's not even really close to the same thing. Because I like the liquor and the bourbon, and you like the coffees and the root beers. So it's interesting. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool stuff. Um, so Cigar Advisor site, we haven't said that. We probably should have said that in the beginning. Is thecigaradvisor.com. Um, it's
I said in the beginning, but yeah,
oh
sure,
crap.
you can
All
repeat it.
right. So we can either pretend like we are just gonna like edit that out, or or we can
I mean, just keep on going what you were
the power
saying.
flashed. Um,
Oh,
it's Florida. What can you do? We have storms.
yeah.
Um,
Is it storming right there right now?
yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh.
We're at the tail end now. Like it's just like kind of the leftover thunder and lightning.
Mm.
But I was not saying how we did not mention it in the beginning, because we really did. It was just a practical joke.
Right.
October Fools. So, how are you on the cigar? Mine went out. but it was decent.
I'm on the second, third. I'm still enjoying it. A little bit stronger than the start.
Mm.
I've only had to touch it up once. The ash fell off about at the 2/3 mark. So
I want to do one of the competitions, the longest ash.
oh, the ones where they
But
go.
yeah, yep. So I have, you already know this, but I have one pet peeve when it comes to people smoking cigars. There's one thing that I hate that I see people do. This is not PG rated. It's when they take it and they're spinning it, or
They wet.
I mean, just going down on
They
it.
wet. They wet the
You
end.
just
Yeah.
total deep throwing it. Oh God, like just a like spin it out of their mouth. I'm just like, why? Like, why do you have to do that? Why?
That's what I'm saying right now.
I don't like so the cigar was sitting in front of me, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. That also might get edited out. We're gonna cut that.
Oh, it's going in, man. It's going in.
That's what he said. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to go over on this. You got anything else for all these wonderful 3 viewers?
Um. I mean, why don't we run through a couple of our favorite cigars? Like,
Yeah.
since we're probably gonna have a lot of new viewers,
Oh, that's true.
maybe some first time smokers, maybe not some first time
That's
smokers.
true.
We can go through a couple of our favorite cigars, and you've definitely smoked a lot more of the higher end things than I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, I like
Like
those. I like some of the finer things.
I stay in my range between like the $7 and $15 range is my spectrum.
Well, I mean, the Forbidden X, Opus X, that's my absolute favorite. The best draw, the best flavors, the best of everything. I mean, it's just it to me is the best cigar. There's nothing better. Number 1.
Yep. I mean, a lot of people would agree with you on that have had the pleasure of trying it. How much is that cigar again?
What is it? It's like $100, right? Well, so it depends
I don't
actually.
know.
It depends because um it depends on who has them and how many they have, what location you're in. Because where I work out, which is out towards like Ocala area, if there's an Opus X there, you're gonna pay a lot of money for it. But in downtown Orlando, a little less. And even in Orlando, like sometimes they'll let you get like a whole box. Where out towards like Ocala, that's not happening. Like no way, they are not gonna let you buy a box. So
That's interesting that Ocala is the place where it's most expensive.
yeah, well, there's
That
no
wouldn't be
lounges.
the
There's very few, and I mean the ones that are out there are good. They're really good, but there's not as many. In Orlando, there's what 3 Coronas, all within about 25 to 30 minutes of each other. A Corona cigar lounge is similar to
I
Cigar
live in
International.
Hillsborough County, so I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah, I've got cigar shops at Diamond
yeah,
Dozen here.
yeah. I mean, when they're like that, you'll be able to get better things, and sometimes the things that are a little bit more rare, you can kind of find them there. But when you get out towards like Ocala, the Villages, Wildwood, those areas, there's very, very few cigar shops. So what's number 1 for
I think
John?
I think next time you come down, we need to go to the Grand Cathedral
Yeah.
because since you like Opus X so much,
Yeah.
they are an exclusive Arto Fuente Opus X dealer. So
Yep.
if anyone's gonna have stuff in stock, it's them.
Yeah, I would love to go. Definitely love. What's your number 1?
I'm not really going like numbers wise. I feel like Room 101 is a really good brand. Again, Room 101 fanboy. My favorite so far that I've had from them is their Doomsayer Aggressive. It's like a $7-8 stick. Very nice draw, and very, very nice flavors. It's a very relaxing cigar. I can't, I've had it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, and I like it each time. So it does not disappoint.
Yeah. I think the one that both you and I probably rank in the top, I'm going to guess that you rank this in the top, is that Joya. Joya de Nicaragua. Go for it. Cinco de Cadis.
Joya de Nicaragua.
Yes.
Yeah, Cinco de Cadis. Yep.
I actually put that right up there with an Opus. It's if I could find that all the time, that is definitely what I would smoke. Like that would be my go-to. The several times I've had it, it is the same every single time. And I'll say that for Doomsayer too. Actually anything Room 101 is it is the same every single time. It just they don't disappoint.
They're consistent.
Very, very consistent flavors. Just amazing. The draws are always perfect. Very few touch-ups. They're great. They're really good.
Yeah. Joya is definitely one of those brands that are really, really good. And right along with Joya, I'll have to shout out their partners in cigars and Drew Estate.
Yeah.
So I love me a Drew Estate Undercrown, Drew Estate, Nica Rustica. Also a Drew Estate fanboy, but they have a lot of good cigars in the Drew Estate line. Like you'll find a cigar that'll fit your palate.
And again, consistent. Very consistent.
Yeah, consistent.
Because some of the brands, which I won't talk about today, but some of the brands are not consistent. No. There's been times where I'm like, man, that was great, and then I'll go and smoke it again, and it's trash. And not just with like inconsistent in flavor. I mean like inconsistent in burn. Just where lots of touch ups, just you can tell that it just wasn't put together right. So just quality control, I think. But that Hoya is so good. It's right there with Opus X. I would say those are actually like the ones that we've talked about. Those are my top favorites. I mean, obviously Monte Cristo I like, but
I'm a big fan of dang it, what am I thinking of here? Hold on. Let me look in my little travel humidor I have here next to me. My Father.
Oh, yeah.
My Father by Godfather of Cigars, Pepin Garcia. Anganorsa Leaf is another really good brand. And then there's that whole boutique cigar line. And for the listeners out there that don't know what boutique or small batch cigars, they're basically like a small run of cigars, usually from like independent cigar makers. And as if you're starting in cigars, I would not recommend going to small batch or trying the boutique. I would go for the name brands first to get yourself acclimated, because there's a lot of inconsistencies in those cigars. I'm not gonna shout out any names or whatever, because but I had I think it was in April or May. April or May was the last time I smoked a cigar until October. So I was 5-month hiatus from smoking cigars. I mean, it's the summertime, so typically I'm not smoking cigars in the summertime anyway. But that cigar made me I've never gotten sick off a cigar until then, and I don't think it was like I was drinking like my normal stuff. I think it was purely the tobacco in the cigar. So I don't want to say it was bad. It wasn't good. So
So I will. It was bad. Um,
did you smoke that cigar?
no, but I had one from a that company,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't good. Um, yeah, it wasn't good. Um, but yeah, I mean,
I still have another one, like a different cigar from that company. I don't know if I want to smoke it.
so that's what I'm curious of is because they're like a third party, right? Like a lot of places are just a third party. Like when you go to even a Cigar International, like they're selling somebody else's cigars. Um,
Right.
so I'm interested to see like is it the way that a place holds it? Because like I've been to I was actually just in the islands a few months ago, and I walk into this cigar shop, and you could tell that they had some great brands. They had Cohiba, and yeah, I mean there were some Cuban cigars there, which I'm not exactly all for, but um, they had quite a few there, not just Cubans. I mean they had like a lot of brands there, but because of the way they were being kept, there's no way. I mean, like you could look on the wrappers and see where they were just like kind of really dried out and not looking good. So I'm just
So I
curious
don't
how this is gonna play
in
out.
my experience with that company's cigar, um, I don't know if they had it blended for them or whatever, because I knew they do some of that on the side. Um, but it's also up to me as the cigar consumer to make sure that like you know I would say this to anybody: if you're ordering a cigar online from anywhere, don't expect to like pop that cigar out of the wrapper as soon as you get it from the mail,
Right.
light it up and think it's going to be great, because most of the time that cigar is probably going to be under humidified, um, could be dried out. Some companies ship with humidification in their cigar packs, some don't. um, so I gave that particular cigar the environment that it needed to thrive. Like I gave it a good month and a half before I even lit it up, kept it in optimal temperature and humidity. So, in my opinion, I think that specific cigar, either suffered from bad tobacco, or maybe it just wasn't a blend that agreed with me.
Mhm.
And like I said, to each his own. Like I know that there are other people that have smoked this particular cigar and absolutely loved it. So, um, but yeah, that wasn't a good experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to say that as well. Is that just because we don't like it doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to like it, you know? But there are some good boutique cigars out there. I just find they're not always for me. Um,
Yeah,
but then there's big
I've
brands,
got one right.
right? That we've gotten that
Yeah,
I didn't really care for. Um,
yeah. There are some name, like brands that are definitely out there that are popular,
mm,
that either just don't agree with some people. Um, like I'm not very fond of La Polina, but I know there are a lot of people that love La Polina. Um, and I'm just
that's me.
naming that brand
I
because
like it.
it's a big brand.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not gonna bash the other one because you know the small cigar shop makers, or small batch, they're trying to hone their craft. So these corporations like La Polina, they've been in the game for a very long time. So again, like you said, like you love La Polina.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of it, but
For me, it was actually another really big company that's not going to care what I say, and that's Cohiba. I like most Cohibas. Not Cuban. I actually like the what you can get here in the U.S. Cohiba, but we got Cohiba Black, I think it was,
yeah.
and
hmm
the draw for me was just really tight, and I didn't care for it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad cigar.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me.
It was definitely like we had smoked 3 cigars
Yeah.
that day. It was definitely the bottom of those 3.
Yep.
Definitely the Hoya up at the top,
Yeah.
the Room 101 in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and then that Cohiba at the bottom.
Yep. I agree. I agree completely. Still a good experience. It wasn't that it was
Yeah.
bad. It just, like you said, wasn't the best out of all of them, out of the
Yeah,
3.
well, I mean, wasn't for you
Yeah.
type of thing.
Especially for the price point.
The price point, the hype.
Yep.
Cohiba is a big band. Like when you say, "Hey, I had a cigar,"
Mhm.
People associate the name Cohiba with cigars. So I mean,
Yep.
It's one of those old school Cuban brands that they have a Cuban and
Mhm.
another division or whatever, which is kind of funny because the Cohiba brand in Cuba is made by a different, like, they're not the same manufacturer. They just shared the name.
I didn't know that
I forget
actually.
exactly how. I forget exactly how they're able to word it or whatever.
I didn't know that at all. So it's like not even the same like parent company, like family.
I don't believe so
That's
because
interesting.
I think Cohiba in Cuba is owned by the government or like this subsidiary of the government. A lot of those big tobacco companies, they
Wow.
I think they made a deal with the government. If I'm saying it right, I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me. Do your own research, type of thing. Um, which I will say, like it, smoking cigars and being in this culture, um, there is a lot of history behind it. Like I said, immediately when people think of um, cigars, they associate um, Cohiba and those older brands that they don't sell here because of
Hmm.
the embargo and all that kind of stuff. But I do suggest everyone like educate yourself. If you definitely want to get into this culture, there are tons of good books and resources, videos on YouTube and TikTokers and Instagrammers. Um, Recently, I actually watched a full length movie on the cigar culture. It's called Hand Rolled. You can find it on YouTube. I think the YouTube channel is called Hand Rolled Movie, and it's all about cigar culture, like from when it started to the boom to the embargo, and then like the history behind like all those Cuban families, like the ones that stayed in Cuba, the ones that left Cuba and started making their cigars in different countries like Nicaragua, the Dominican Republic, and stuff like that. So if you really want to deep dive into cigar culture, and want to learn not just like about cigars, but like what it actually like takes for you to enjoy that cigar in your hand, I highly suggest that you watch the Hand Rolled movie on YouTube.
Mm. It's really good. There and yeah, you're right. There's a lot. There's so much on YouTube, but you actually have to search it out. It's not gonna find you just because of
Yeah,
YouTube rules.
yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, YouTube rules kind of shut down a lot of prominent cigar YouTubers out there
Hmm.
um, that I watched, um, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, like I'm still trying to figure out how they decided who they were going to like cancel and who they were not. Because there's still a lot of people on there that are talking about cigars, but and there's big channels,
There are a
small
few
channels.
people. I think it's because like the ones that are still on YouTube,
Uh-huh.
they pump out so much content um, on the regular that it's hard for the YouTube algorithm to flag them to the point where like they're not able to put up a video.
Oh, I see.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, like I mean, it's interesting how all that works because there's one person that I watch who's amazing, who we can throw out his name. He's really I think he's a cool guy, Jeremy Sires. Um,
Yep.
he has great products. I think I love his channel. Like it's pretty cool. He does amazing stuff. His cinematography is great. So shout out. Um, not that he cares of all three people that are watching us. Um, but you know, even those size channels have had to sometimes edit their content. Um,
Yeah.
which he did.
I think
He has a video that he
a separate
yeah,
channel.
he did a separate channel, but there's also one video where he's like, "Hey, I had to go and edit this because YouTube said that it had, XYZ content in it." And he actually had to go back and re-edit it. Um, and in that video, he's 100% right. Like that is a private company. They have the right to do that. They can make whatever rules they want. It's their company. Um,
Yeah.
and that's why we made our
I
company.
think that yeah. And I think that's another reason why like initially Matt and I we were we had our own cigar Instagrams.
Mhm.
We were planning on launching our own separate cigar channels on YouTube. And that was around the time that the whole cigar exodus hit YouTube.
Yep.
So a lot of those people, a lot of like good cigar people in the community, they got either like all their videos are being removed and demonetized, or like it really sucked. And so like you can't find those people anymore on YouTube.
Yep.
They've gone to other avenues, like posting their videos on Instagram, or I forgot the other. I think is it Rumble? I think was the
Oh yeah.
other like yeah
Which I tried
that
that
they're
out. I
using to
liked
post
it.
their video.
I mean, I didn't post anything, but I watched some
Yeah.
stuff on there, and it was pretty good. It's a good platform.
So I mean, like a lot of good cigar people got you know
Mhm.
hit with that stuff, and
Yeah. Even Instagram though is kind of rough. You might remember my lonely little Instagram channel that has like 3,000 followers or something. And I still post on it, but I was locked out for I think 14 days or something because of something I posted that was against the rules. Um,
yeah,
silly, stupid, but
and your Instagram is just pictures
yep.
of bourbons or
Mhm.
cigars. So it's like,
Yep.
you're not promoting anything in the comments. You're not like linking any. Because I think one of the things that like a lot of these companies, like YouTube, like Instagram, um, even TikTok, um, they do not want you to link cigar places. So like
Right.
you can't put the website link for Cigars International for someone to click on to go to a cigar place. That's a big no. Like that'll
Mhm.
get you a strike.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the thing that got me kind of flagged, I actually think I was reported, but I think what got me flagged was that I there was like a cigar company that that I liked, but I tagged their Instagram and their YouTube, um,
Mm.
all from their Instagram. But I'm pretty sure that's what got me, was just because I had probably like that YouTube link on there, and then from YouTube you can go
Mm.
to kind of their store. So it's like an indirect link. Like a lot of people use like Linktree and things like that for some
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
sites. But yeah. But it is what it is, and
Yeah.
now we have a solution.
It's yeah, it's the Wild West for cigar content. Like
Mhm.
you can definitely find it if you research it. Like I still watch cigar content on YouTube,
Mhm.
like the people that are still there, like Cigars Daily and um, Jimmy Pick Cigars. Like I still watch like those YouTube channels,
Yeah.
and they're still pumping out content, and I'm grateful and thankful for all the work that they do over in those channels, because they put out some good content and good cigar reviews. A lot of the cigars that like I try, I get from other cigar reviewers,
Mhm.
like people that have they know what they're talking about, and um it's good to go try a cigar with a little bit of knowledge in your head, um, of what to expect as far as like flavor and construction and stuff like that. And so it's a shame that like some of the other channels got knocked. So
Yep. Yeah. But we don't you can post anything people want on here. You want to write a blog, send it to one of us, we'll post it. I don't care. It's our
yep,
business. We'll post it.
yeah, yeah. If you wanna shout out your favorite cigar content creators, and
Go for it.
you know we're happy to host your opinions, and you know on our site.
Mhm. Yeah. I wouldn't even mind opening up this forum actually. Like people want to join, I'm cool with it. Just send us an email, let us
Yeah,
know that you'd like to come on and have a cigar or a drink with us and talk about cigars and what you like and your cigar shops. I'm down. Um, because there's actually another guy that's a YouTube guy that I was just recently talking to him, and he does more than just cigars. He does like a lot of different smoke products. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'd love to have you on the channel." And he's like, I'll send you an email. Well, he sends me an email, and it's like, if you want to be on the channel, it's going to cost you like $600. Like, no, no, that's not what this community is about. Like,
no,
no. So if you want to come on ours, we're open. We're doing this, for the reason of having a community and making
yeah,
it
we're doing for
open.
this for the cigar hobby, for the cigar people that love cigars. If you want to come on here and shoot the shit, want to get to know us, we want to get to know you.
Mhm.
um, Definitely let us know.
Yeah, hit us up. So I will post email addresses, all that kind of stuff, links. So you'll be able to do that. Websites. I mean, you can always go on the website, thecigaradvisors.com, and email either of us. Our email addresses are on there. Our Instagrams are on there. Um, Facebook. From Facebook, I think you can get to WhatsApp if I remember right. Um, yeah, send us something. Let us know. Reach out. Cool. That's that awkward silence moment.
Yep. Awkward silence. Just gonna puff on this cigar.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna go see how much trouble I'm in for smoking a cigar up here.
All right,
So
buddy.
if on the next one
All
I
right,
don't
folks.
have my video on, it's because I have bruises. All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night.
All right. See you, everyone. Till next time.